All right, y'all. It's your boy Professor X, aka Malik, back again with another wrestling topics show. I got my brothers with me, our brother Zargon and brother Tyshawn from the Wrestle Chat Media Facebook page. What's up, y'all?
What's going on?
All right, all right. We'll start off by talking about tonight's Raw and the whole Raw and SmackDown draft in its entirety. So everybody, or Tyshawn, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on the whole draft? I got the results right here on two different pages. Also, I can read. I can read them out loud, and 'cause I missed the first two nights, but I got caught up, especially with tonight.
Go ahead and recap over the results.
Yeah. Okay. Friday, October 1st. Okay, Biggie,
Well,
Big
you
E.
gonna go back to Friday?
Yeah, I was going back to all of them. Yeah, because I missed some of it. Yeah, I was going back all through the whole thing because I got them up right here. Big E to Raw. Reigns, of course, stays on SmackDown. Bianca Belair to Raw. Charlotte Flair to SmackDown with the with the
Charlotte,
title.
ew.
Arcade Bro are staying on Raw. Drew McIntyre is on SmackDown. Edge is on Raw. New Day is on SmackDown. Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash on Raw. Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss on SmackDown. Keith Lee is on Raw. Hit Rose on SmackDown. Those are call ups from NXT. Ray and Dominic, the father and son tag team, are on Raw. Naomi's on SmackDown. Austin Theory, I think, which is another NXT call up, is on Raw. Jeff Hardy's on SmackDown. Oh, and if you saw Raw tonight, Jeff Hardy got buried by, like I said, a fresh NXT call up who basically appeared to be a fanboy and wanted a selfie, and he took a selfie and then took out Jeff Hardy and then took another selfie. So basically, I guess he's called up to be a heel.
What?
Yeah. It was kind of funny though, cause look at this. I can smell it coming. I
Oh
can
my
smell it coming.
god.
I can smell it coming. Oh, other
Fuck you
draft picks.
do.
You got for Raw, Nia Jax, Drake Maverick, Reggie, Zelina Vega, Akira Tozawa, Alpha Academy, R Truth, John Morrison, Dewdrop, T Bar, Apollo Cruz, and Commander Aziz. SmackDown, Aaliyah, Tony Storm, Drew Gallic, Mace, Mustafa Ali, and Mansoor. And now tonight's results. Becky Lynch for Raw. The Man's on Raw. The Usos are staying on SmackDown with the Bloodline, of course, with Roman. Bobby
Thank
Lashley
God.
staying on. Bobby Lashley is staying on Raw. Sasha Banks is on SmackDown. Seth Rollins is on Raw. King Nakamura and Rick Boogs is on SmackDown. Damian Priest stays with Raw. Sheamus is on SmackDown. AJ Styles and Omos are staying on Raw. Shayna Baszler is on SmackDown, and this is even though she buried Dana Brooke tonight. Kevin Owens is on Raw, and Zia Lee from NXT has been called up to SmackDown. The Street Profits are on Raw. The Viking Raiders are on SmackDown. Finn Balor's on Raw. Ricochet is on SmackDown. Karrion Kross is staying on Raw. Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza is on SmackDown. Alexa Bliss is staying on Raw because she's getting a makeover after her time off. Cesaro has been drafted to SmackDown. Carmella's on Raw. Ridge Holland is on SmackDown. Gable Stevenson, NXT call up or newcomers on Raw, and Sami Zayn on SmackDown, and that's all. And that's all your results for the draft. Now, what I don't like about this draft is because even though it's a draft, I mean it's a bogus draft, but like I said, no, it's a storyline draft. You're drafting people that are already on the show, and you're just keeping them on the show. So but I guess some of the matchups, like I said, you saw Sasha Banks tonight at the end of the show. Sasha Banks came in, jumped Becky Lynch after Becky Lynch beat up the EST of WWE. So that storyline looks a little good. It's a little interesting. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna have them. You have Bianca Belair, Charlotte, and Sasha Banks fighting for the title at Crown Jewel. And so Tyshawn, start with you. What are your thoughts on all the Raw and SmackDown draft results?
Mm. Um, I'm gonna just be straight honest. I mean, does it matter to me? You know, it's tricky asking me stuff about things that WWE puts out there, especially those that involve you getting invested into. Um, Long time WWE WWF fan, but of late, of course, to me it seems asinine to sit around and be investing into anything that they do. They don't really live up to their investments in a draft. I understand the nostalgia of it because the first time it happened, it was special. The draft was special.
I agree.
But as it sunk in, and once that honeymoon thing just kind of fizzled out, and then it started getting ridiculous with it because this is the thing: a draft is special and important when it's held to rules and boundaries. If you notice, they always change the rules and they make it fit whatever agenda they're pushing at the time. So it's like, oh, this means nothing. They've proven time and time again that the draft means nothing. They'll sit there and I don't know if y'all remember. Oh man, I know we all have different stories of them drafting somebody to Raw and all of a sudden this is a what they call it. What was one thing they would do? What talent to still show up on somebody else's show? They called it
it was like a Raw Super Show or something like that. Was it?
That's not. They do super shows, and it's another one that they do where it's on the tip of my tongue. They would do this thing.
It's a late draft, or sometimes they call it a late change, something like that.
No, not those are some too, but it's the one where they'll have like brand supremacy. They be able to go where they want to go and all that. It's be weird. I was like, hold up, what happened to them being on this Raw? Oh, they have brand immunity. They can now go here and they ain't got a title. This person won't even have a championship title, but they was able to be on this show and then go here and be compete. It just gets weird, or they'll just change somebody with no explanation. Like that the whole draft thing is like, okay, Brock was just drafted to SmackDown. Okay, now if you notice, the new thing now is Brock has free agent.
Yeah, he's a free agent
status. That's this. If y'all go back in the history of like, especially let's just look at Brock Lesnar when it came to them drafting talent to certain brands. Notice if you just focus in on Brock Lesnar, he's a unique one to talk about. The stipulation always changes up. Oh, Brock Lesnar, he has brand immunity. I don't know if y'all remember that year. I'm like, what the fuck is the brand immunity?
I think I remember that. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar signed a new deal with Raw, but he will be changed. Or sometimes they would change the champion. Okay, like now, champions are being changed over. The champions being changed over, but they don't get replaced. Like, say for instance, if they get the WWE champion on one show, they're not replacing his title with Universal title. They're now, I don't know, or they used to. Like I said, if you can read my face, that's how unimportant they have made this draft. But I understand the nostalgia behind it, why certain fans geek out and they just tune in. But it's gonna wear off because that affected. They don't. It's not. They don't, the fans don't understand, and that WWE, they're not gonna literally honor it. It's like they're gonna rewrite it every second. Oh, this is what happened now. We're gonna explain this in some stupid asinine reason to why that happened. It just gets stupider and stupider. And I'm like, if you want to be as important as NFL and NBA in their draft, that's how special they want it to be. But it's not going to be that special because y'all don't honor the rules. You don't have stable rules to where you can't bend it and flex it. And see, in the real world, you can't do that. It's not going to work like that. If Tyler Basham, just an example, gets drafted to the NBA's Phoenix Suns, he can't be like, okay, well, I'm gonna have basketball team immunity. Now I can go play on the Memphis Grizzlies, and I'm gonna play on Chicago and Phoenix. No, that don't work like that. No, player, it's not. You finna do a deal. You can sign. If they really wanted to make it seem special, they would talk about what the person's getting signed for. They're on this brand for this money. No, they would make it where it's a salary cap for each wrestler. Like put a salary cap on it, and now we know what. And then we can see the Raw brand in the back with USA officials, and then you see SmackDown in the back with Fox officials, and they're going over, okay, hold on, we're gonna go over the salary cap. We can't get this guy. Like, they don't got to show the money. They was like, the salary cap is going too high. They can be, we can show the stressing points of what actual draft, when teams are drafting different players in certain places. You can see that kind of going on in the back where, that will bring something special to it. But, and also, why, the other thing that I got to downsize to, and because I feel foolish because I'm a fan of it, but why in the hell are we drafting from SmackDown to Raw or Raw to SmackDown? Shouldn't we be drafting strictly from NXT? Or
that's a good question. That's a good point.
That does make sense.
That does make sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Or if it's not any of the NXT brands, the UK and whatever Far East brand they got, or do like Evolve, all the other promotions that they work with, do that. Do a drafting from the indie scene like that they usually do, the ones they have a relationship with. Draft like, I think they got a relationship now with, is it MLW? I think yeah, Major League Wrestling. Yeah,
they do.
They sure do. They got
that. I didn't know that.
I think they purchased. I got to read back into that again, but that's what I'm saying. That's where the draft needs to come from. Is literally from these guys. They need to be drafted from the development companies, or the brands that have some strive and showing promise. That's who you need to be drafted from. Drafting from
so like a minor league basically, like a minor league going into the pros basically.
Right. Yeah.
And if you want to, I'm sorry, but if you want to make SmackDown and Raw seem really special, then do an annual trade. Do it the night before. Do it preferably in October. I think they should have did they should do the draft after WrestleMania like they usually do, and now in October do a trade, do a brand wide trade to where they trade talent. That's what they do in the pros. They trade. They don't draft them.
Yeah, you're gonna get redrafted.
How you gonna draft Roman Reigns when he's an established pro star?
It's a good point. Another good point. That's true. See, that's your main event guy. You don't draft your main event guy. Yeah, go ahead.
Did the Lakers draft LeBron James? Or did
no. Definitely traded.
It's a trade. It's either the trade or they buy out a certain. If they get rid of some guy, they're gonna trade some guys off or sell some guys off so they can acquire someone. So it's either you're acquiring someone or you're trading. So you're trading to acquire. So I'm like, if you want to be taken serious, then you gotta establish some rules. W doesn't have any rules right now. Like they always trying to, we're gonna angle this up. Okay, let's do that. Like I'm like, that's stupid. But we should be drafting. If we're gonna do draft day, we should be drafting from the promotions that I said, your NXT, developmental or minor league, as you were saying, and the other indie companies that they have a relationship with. Draft from there. That is special. But
you think they should change the name, like the draft and the trades? You think they should put like a different name for it?
I wouldn't. I would keep it. I would keep it the WWE draft, but they're drafting from the minor league. I'm gonna tell you why this is special. I'm gonna tell you why I would go over it way much better than what they think in due time, because you're legitimately changing people's lives.
Yeah, true.
For you to sit here and say, for instance, you get this new cat named Big Bobcat Jones, since they want to use Bobcat's name now. Bobcat Jones. And Bobcat Jones is this big 7'2" black guy who's from Alabama, and he's been wrestling on one of the development programs, and people know him. They're like, oh wow, Big Bobcat. I would love to see Big Bobcat going up against a Brock Lesnar or being, Yeah, but then him and his family, him gathering around, being called up, that's really special. It's really, really special. People know that this cat is literally on the indie scene or he's on a development program. So now he's going to get a deal to sign officially with WWE. That's how they should do. Wait to draft and sign people. Like do it in a ceremonial type of way, not some big ass clusterfuck of a wannabe draft scene. Make it special because you got people that are literally trying to get on up there, and if this person's on NXT and they've been working on NXT, it's okay, we're gonna draft the whole hit row. Oh wow, oh. Well, we're getting called. We're literally getting called up. We're getting called up to what we get drafted to SmackDown. Oh yeah, they really excited because now their lives are truly finna change. They finna get national exposure. But now a trade, like I said, something like what happened the span of these 2 weeks, the Raw trade. I would say Raw brand international trade. They should have. That's what this should have been called, a trade. Just if you're gonna trade, then have each representative brand literally making trades. They even made it a laughing stock because you had these officials that are clearly not official. They just people that was just we're gonna give you a title on the show. You're girl, lesbian girl that were being stalked by somebody. We're gonna
That's
what
for
did
sure.
she do?
That'll be Sonya Deville.
I'm
She
done.
was literally stalked.
Her name's Sonya Deville. Okay, sorry, not lesbian girl that got stalked. You are Sonya Deville. What does she do? She wrestled with somebody? You're a wrestler here. Okay, look, you're gonna be authority. Authority.
Yeah.
I was just stalking someone myself. Vince, how am I gonna be authority now?
I tell you.
Pretty much.
You're a butcher, aren't you? You're bulldog. No, they don't call it bulldog no more, Vince. Okay, you're lesbian, right? You got to be the manly one, right? No, I'm actually femme. You're a manly one. You're a manly girl, and you're going to be an authority figure, right? You, sir, you bald-headed motherfucker. You been here since day one. You was on janitorial. So now authority figures, and you just got these random authority figures who we never knew where none of these individuals came from as authority figures. Like, what did it just? But we just. I don't think we did. I don't think we omitted it. We just, as fans, we just kind of like. We were like, oh, what AEW doing? What are they doing over there?
I feel like they don't invest in the authority figures too. Like even if it's like a wrestler, like take William Regal for example, like a major authority figure. Like you knew Regal the wrestler, but you also knew him as like a general manager, and he got like made like tough decisions, or even like a Teddy Long or anybody like that. But WWE doesn't do that type of stuff no more, and it would actually give a character to the authority figures. Kind of like how they did with the McMahons, with the whole authority thing going on. Even though, Triple H, Stephanie, and them were, the owners and stuff like, or co-owners of the company, they still had like a character on TV. And I think if they did that with more people, I think they can go a long way. Even with referees, like you see the referees, it's like the referees has no figure. Like they have no character. They don't have nothing. Think of how they used to do with Earl Hebner. Earl Hebner would like referee the big matches. You know, if Earl Hebner is in that match, that match is a big deal. Like they don't put a character to anything no more. Everything is just, as I like to call, create a rapper.
A lot of nowadays. Things like now that really goes with a lot of the changes that needed to be made far as established stars. Earl Hebner got basically transitioned to a star quality type of position. And one thing I've learned about the business so far is that when you have talent, because that referee's now a national talent, when it comes to television, people recognize him. So and also with that social media following. If he's on social media, he's an influencer. He carries an influence. That is a conflict of interest to WWE programming. WWE is more conscious out of all the promotions. They're more conscious of people shooting off and skyrocketing into bigger names. What that means is now we got to pay you more. Now you can hike up the
Okay, that makes
and
sense.
so it's kind of good to not really like for them business wise. Let's not encourage this person's price to go up by giving establishing roles. So right now, Eric Helpner he was one point he was one of the highest paid referees. And Vince was like, oh, I'm not gonna pay you a goddamn $1 million again. The rest, the hell. And then Eric like, okay, well, I'm gonna go over here. They're gonna pay me close to that. So all right, I'll let you. Where's he going? No, hell no. Bring your ass back here. Fucking let him go. People
Yeah,
if you look at the treatment, how they treat a lot of wrestlers, you could be behind a certain wrestler, but WWE would kind of go left field with it. Like they'll build them and then they'll be like, okay, let's take it down. Let's take it down a notch because they're very, 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 very fearful of talent becoming household super names, superstars.
they do that to everybody. I don't know anybody that's
but you notice it changed because at one point that could have been people got to understand with social media, especially look at a lot of the wrestlers that started they were being social media influencers. Look at what happened last year this year to the accounts. Remember Vince putting the lockdown on that? Because the thing about that is now I understand Vince and company's outlook on it because one thing about now, Vince is not just the only person that control anymore. There are people that got say so in the company. There are companies, brands, television shows.
Board of directors, and plus, I noticed he said he put a lockdown on outside accounts. Well, he didn't put a lockdown on Paige because Paige is still going live on Twitch every now and then, and also.
I mean, that's different. You can do. I'm saying that, far as if you're gonna be with them, and the deals, because you understand Adam Page that you're talking about, with his account, he was up under a different contract though. He was with NXT. He's still living off his NXT. Well, he was running off his NXT's contract.
I'm talking about Paige, the female. Her. She's still on Twitch. She's still on the contract with WWE. So that's she's not an active wrestler. I know.
A lot of the talent, they either get just paid just to stay where they are, be complacent where they are, not just go somewhere else. So you got different deals they get, or different extension deals that they get that have leniency on them. So how's she gonna make extra money? She can have that little account. She's not. You gotta look at it. Paige is not currently active on the television show right now, so her influence is not really gonna be impactful for us today.
Yeah, she doesn't mean shit right now. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Now, as far as go ahead.
Wait. I'm sorry.
No, when you said earlier when you talked about the drafted from the independents, I would say draft from just NXT and also draft from NXT the UK as well. So see, that's two places you could draft from. That way you can have some of them come over here and it's fresh faces, like you said, fresh faces.
What I'm putting out there is the promotions that we know that they currently deal with. We know they deal with Evolve. They deal with this other. It's quite a few. It's few. So people in the comment section, they can put it down there and list it. It's about a good 4 to 5 promotions that they work with exclusively. So, because MLW is now MLW is exclusive with WWE right now. So they can literally pull from a lot of these places. Because I think Leo Rush was at MLW. He was on MLW. He dropped the title before he retired. He dropped the title with them because he was the middleweight champion at one point. Because I know SP Ghost worked my show, and SP Ghost took the title from I think he took the title from it wasn't SP Ghost that took the title from. We took the title.
I know he did win a belt. I know he did. I know he did win a belt. I remember seeing that on the Twitter timeline, but I can't remember.
Now he's signed exclusively with AEW.
He is?
Yeah, he's signed with AEW, yeah.
Okay, I'm slacking it.
Yeah, that's another thing. Before Adam Cole jumped over there, the word was, but Adam Cole denies it, says it wasn't true. Adam Cole was going to be a manager for Keith Lee, like a mouthpiece, much like Leo was for Bobby Lashley. Since Keith Lee is now a Bearcat Lee and he's a heel. So that's something else.
He's a heel?
Yeah, he's a heel now, yeah. No, that's something else. His fiance, Maya Yim, who is also on the contract.
Keith Lee is a heel.
Yeah. over 10-year veteran, and she's also sitting at home and has a YouTube channel now. So Mia Yim, I mean, the last time I saw her, they showed a promo spot picture of her on Raw saying she was on Raw. This was under the what's that Retribution character that she had that that Reckoning, the Reckoning mask, but that's the last time you saw her. But see, Mia Yim is being wasted. She always asked for her release and also jump to AEW. I think she was trying to AEW. Go ahead.
The names that you're mentioning, you gotta take, even if, like, say for instance, you see some names on there and they do appear on television, you gotta take that with a grain of salt, because a lot of I'm pretty sure, business wise, I'm thinking that they didn't upgrade it to how third party platforms would be utilized, the ads and so forth, the money. I'm pretty sure they probably didn't edited that and made that what it is. They came to some type of conclusion, because I see the ramifications that can happen from that. If you're running a company, because I run a smaller company, they run in big dog companies, so I'm pretty sure I can kind of get a good little perspective on how serious and how cutthroat things are at the top. So if you're doing something at that level and you're trying to make sure that you don't, what I was getting to earlier was that if you look at what happened to WWE, Vince McMahon and company back in the days when talent were becoming mega stars, worldwide mega stars. Look at Stone Cold, look at The Rock, look at all these bigger names as large in life. Notice that they can't control them. They can't control Stone Cold or The Rock. They can do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Yeah, because they don't need, especially The Rock. He doesn't need WWE no more. I mean, he owns his name. He's getting $20 million per movie. I mean, and Stone Cold, he's doing his podcast and he's doing TV series. He's another one. And Batista, look at Batista, also blowing up. Guardians of the Galaxy. He's got movies on Netflix. He's going to be in that upcoming Doom.
Look at what Brock. Look at what Brock. Because a lot of stuff trickled from every person that they really touched became bigger and bigger, especially when they put that questioning on them, it became bigger and bigger. So you have to, and now they can, oh, you want me to come back and make an appearance? That's going to be $15 million. What?
Oh, shit. Damn.
15 million, sir. Like, did you stutter? 15 million to do 4 appearances in 2 years? Hey, take it or leave it. I can go over to AEW. I can go start up a league or something like that. Like, it's like now they can highball the prices, and that's scary. At one point, like, we go back further to the WCW days. Remember what kept happening when guys would jump ship to WCW, and they were taking name value. It was name value appearing on these other shows. Bret Hart appearing. All these decent names that were hotshot stars that are leaving. You built up Hulkamania. Now Hulkamania can leave. Holy, that's scary.
And then followed by Hall and Nash became the NWO.
That scared Vince, man. Vince and not just Vince McMahon, but people that were soon to be partners and coming into company. Like, yo, how you gonna stop this here, Vince? Like, we love what you had built, but how you gonna stop stuff like that? This CM Punk guy, how you gonna stop that type of shit? Like, you gotta fix that problem. I love them becoming stars, but they're able to. They leave with their people. So how can we stop that? If you notice, they always had a way of trying to, and you could see them putting a major effort to stop the momentum of a certain talent.
Oh my God. They do that shit all the time.
When CM Punk was doing what he was doing, they would stop you like, what are you doing? Give us more. That's enough. That's enough, guys. That's enough. When you saw people getting behind a certain talent, they would hurry up and like, what are you doing? Like, whoa,
they did that with Braun Strowman. Still pisses me off to this day.
And they went left field with it, and then all of a sudden they tried to push him. And it was like too late.
It was damage was already done.
Remember Daniel Bryan? Y'all remember what happened to Daniel Bryan? The first natural organic push that happened, and they were going against the fans. The fans like, yo, we want this guy, but people have to understand it was an effort. WWE, they did a lot to try to ignore him and try to not make him a mega star. but the fans overall though. So
Yeah, and
thanks
also
to the fans.
the yes, yes, yes. That also the same thing happened to Damien Sandow, which I always repeat. Look at Damien Sandow. He got over on his damn own without creative, and he outshined of the Jizz, or excuse me,
He got over more than once though.
yeah, he got
I
over more
mean,
than the
I
Miz
act on his
just by
own, and
copying
then
the
he
Miz.
did it with the
That
Miz.
was
So
so
that's kind
hilarious.
of
It wasn't funny, and basically WWE just buried him, and then all of a sudden he disappeared.
I agree, and also I agree with Bloodsport as well. He was commenting upon that, but you know, it's they build up talent, but they stop them because, like I said, I don't criticize them without understanding. I get it. They're a mega company and they're trying to literally monitor what talent is going over and how massive they're getting. It's a poor effort, but then again, it's an effort nonetheless. They're trying to protect their company and their interests because if they really go hard like that, like we know WWE can put on, we know they can shine and pretty much just because they got the perfect platform. We know what they can. We've seen the Attitude Era. We know what they can do. We've seen certain good parts of the Ruthless Era, Aggression Era. So we know what they can do, what they're capable of. But they have to monetize, or they got to monitor and limit certain talent because if they get too big, you might have a situation where you have 10 contracts coming up in the next year, and you didn't put over all this talent. Like you let's say, for instance, we take it back to the Attitude Era, to where talent was just shooting off. Names were beginning, New Age Outlaws shooting off to the biggest name. Like it wasn't just teams. I mean, it wasn't just solo people. It was tag teams. So
that's
you
true.
got to deal with New Age Outlaws, the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian. So that's multiple people on contracts. So then you got just brought the Dudley Boys in. So when their
Also,
contract comes up, they can
the
ask for more
APA.
money.
Yeah, the
Yes, what's that?
APA. Yeah.
So now they can ask for more money. Look. Well, I don't mind being a tag team, but I want 2 million this year. What? How much you want? I want 3.
So you think they doing that because they don't make as much money as they used to?
No, this is the thing.
Okay.
When you build certain talent, because it happens on the indie level. It's happened to me on the independent level. Is where you build people up to where they get a name and everybody's talking about them, people liking them. That person can come back and say, "Hey, look, man. Hey, Tishana, I love your shows, man. Great run here. Can I get a pay raise?" It's an employee. It's like a job. You doing good, and you like, "Hey, I need a raise." And you looking like, raise? All right, I give you a raise. But all of a sudden, you have multiple employees that you've been letting go hard. They've been getting extra hours. They've been doing phenomenal at the job. You ain't been cutting their hours. You ain't been stopping them from coming to work. They literally now are like, "Hey, I need a raise. Hey, I need a raise. I need a raise. I need a raise. I need a raise." So now you're like, "Fuck, what have I done?" And then they say, "Hey, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm gonna go to McDonald's over here. Who's gonna cover that shift?" But that's a very valuable employee now, super valuable. But I know it's kind of weird to mix it with this, but still, let's get to wrestling. With wrestling, now you got to look at contracts. Things are on contract. So now, when it's coming to time for somebody to be on, redo their contract, and you try to give them you signed up for 30,000 that year. Now you let the person go to the moon. Now their merchandise is going up, everything's going up, their demand is up. So now that 30K just turned to easily over 100K. So now you got to pay them 100K for the next year. But now they can demand, because they gonna get their lawyer, they're gonna get their attorney. They're like, "Okay, well, you guys, you're at new, you're the ad is coming in, your revenue share here. You should be asking more." Yeah, we need more.
I see what you mean. I'm thinking of it from a football and basketball aspect now. Now that you say it like that, it's kind of like why
it's still the same. It's still the same.
That's what I'm saying.
Similar,
it's the same thing. That's why I'm thinking of
very
it
similar.
in that manner. Like Okay, so I'm a Patriots fan. I'm just gonna put that out there. Of course, you see the shirt. So it's like one of the reasons why Bill Belichick cuts a lot of talent, even though the talent may be really, really good for the team, but he has to cut them because he see their stock is rising. So now that you say that, it makes a lot of sense.
Makes you
I
wonder
never
why
thought about it like that until you said it.
Hey,
Like,
look, it's Argon. It makes you wonder why he cut Tom Brady. That was huge stock, but
No, that more was Tom, because with when you gotta look
yeah,
at it, they wouldn't finna let Tom go like that. It's just as branding. Tom has become
yeah.
a bigger brand entity itself, to where he has to go. And if you heard him talk, because he could have came to Tennessee, but he has to go where his brand wants to go and what he can sell his brand to. And so his thing is, okay, what's a bigger spot that can pay more money for my brand and support what I need to support. I got this I like to do. I got this I like to do. My other company likes to do this. So he needs to be where he can flourish. You know,
He
he's
was
a
smart
bigger.
to pick Tampa, though. He was smart to pick Tampa. I give
Mhm.
him that. It's a nice place to live, nice weather. You know, you on your like final contract, you know, before you retire, so you're trying to get as much money. I'm
Yeah,
not mad at Tom for that. I can't blame him.
I picked on the Tennessee tail, because if y'all look up the reports on when it was talks about Tennessee, and he was talking about company interest stuff, the parent companies that he running on, he has interest in, that was in Tennessee or like that. So some business
Oh,
endeavors that he could be a part of. So it's all about that, and like to also add to what we were saying. Yeah,
so
you
it's like LeBron with LA.
about about to get to that. I was
Okay,
about to say, yeah,
okay.
like LeBron.
oh, okay.
LeBron ain't charging LeBron prices from 2005 no more.
Yeah,
Le-
yeah.
LeBron prices, contract wise, he has different stipulations. I need to have control over who we putting on the roster. I want this. I want that. I want access to these folks. Social security number. He want everything.
Wow.
LeBron's demand is higher. You know, he has a lot of pull. And when he signs to a team or a certain brand, you know, he makes sure that his list of demands are met, so that when he comes in, that he gets what he wants, and it's lucrative for his business. You know,
That
him
makes
and his sponsors and so forth. So that's why that's the trouble of having a megastar or creating megastars. But you know, you look at teams that keep starting over and over and over and over, like teams like my hometown, the Memphis Grizzlies, and others that keep putting newer faces all the time, because
And I used to
sometimes,
always wonder that too. I used to be like, why do they? I used to wonder that, but now that you say it, I see what you mean.
yeah, because
well,
like I said, some of the talent can. Now you got some players that won't ask for more, because they'll look at the agent, probably be looking at the other offers they have out there, and they might not be getting so many offers. So the market could be just really really good at that point where there are enough talent on different teams, and teams are not really just picking for the next this person, that person. So therefore, that person, uh, Mike Conley, your team that was in the Grizzlies, he's not going to be asking for a lot from the Grizzlies. I'm like, you still cool with that million we put on you? Okay. As long as you're cool with it, you know. But if that person becomes, they getting offers from here, there, now I was going to be like, huh, yeah, I have been making a lot of 3 pointers from the line. One of your game, yeah. Give me more money. So, but now let's get back to wrestling. It, it's
yeah,
it's it's
that's what
way
I was gonna
trickier
say.
with
Yeah,
yeah. It's way trickier with wrestling. With wrestling, you can become popular. We talked about Daniel Bryan, the Yes Chant, stuff like that can just hit, and so
But
now you got.
it's the simple stuff though that gets like really over really quickly too.
yeah, something simple, you
Mhm.
know. Now, here's my thing: Roman Reigns, who's probably the highest paid guy, and you say, you don't draft him now. He's The Rock's cousin. I'm pretty sure he can go. Pretty sure he can become a bigger star than what he already is. But I don't think Vince is going to, stifle him or stall him. I don't see him stalling him, because he's the tribal chief. Because everywhere he goes, you have to acknowledge him. And like I said, if you look, Rock can probably put him in a movie anytime he wants to. Anytime he wants to, like that Hobbs. I think it was one of the movies he was in. I saw it too. It was an action movie. Because remember, I forget which one it was. I think it was I believe it was Hobbs and Shaw when they were on the island. I think and you saw Roman Reigns in the background. Yeah, there was that one. Yeah, so Reigns is covered. So even if Vince would try to bury him, the Rock's got him covered. The only one I don't see becoming as big a star as any of them is, of course, the other cousin, Nia Jax.
But you had to pay attention. They didn't push Roman Reigns until they were ready. When the fans were ready for him, remember what happened when the fans were ready for Roman to be the man? Yeah. What happened? Y'all know what happened at that match when he lost the Royal Rumble?
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember.
Remember when everybody wanted Roman to win and he didn't win? They would.
And that was the year before. Yeah, that was the year before because I think. But did Batista win that one? I think Batista won that one, and when he won, the fans booed the hell out of Batista, and then just the next year over. That's what I'm saying. That shit changes so quickly.
You know, what WWE and company, what they do is they watch and they see they want him. Oh, they want him. Yeah. Well, hold up. His contract's coming up, so let's cut that momentum. We'll package him. We'll go ahead and get him to sign a new contract, and more something we can control him. Put him in more account of years, and we're gonna control his momentum, and then we're gonna push him. Notice they start shoving Roman Reigns in your throat. Just start shoving to you, and it wasn't an organic push. They just start pushing him on you, pushing him on you. You're like, yo, I mean, but he not doing what we want. It's not what we want him to come like this, and now he's, oh yeah, I'm going to super punch you.
Yeah, suffering succotash. I would never get over that. I would never get over suffering succotash.
That lets you know that what they did was they saw his whatever deal that he had. They said, okay, we're not going to support this organic push because in our current deal with this guy, he's if WWE would have allowed that push at the organic push. What would have happened? It probably would have been a public nightmare because he would have became beyond and bigger than big. He would have became like his cousin before him, Stone Cold and all of them. He would have gained massive popularity, and WWE would not have had no control because what would have happened was he probably would have got so big and he would say, "Hey Vince, look, this new contract's coming up, and we got you. We're going to pay you $2 million this year. We want you to do $2 million for 3 years." Yeah, Vince. About that, I was talking to my cousin, The Rock. You know The Rock, right? Yeah. Okay. Fans have been going crazy for my merchandise shutting out the roof. Let's do $10 million for 2 years. No. You can change that because you got to look at it. Him becoming a mega star now. That in that contract now he can hang it over Vince. Here, well, look, Vince, I understand if you guys don't want to pay it. I did get off from TNA. Hey, what the hell? They can't support you, but they're gonna give me percentage of the company. What?
Oh
no. Whoa, hold up, Roman. Look. You built a major name over it. I know, Vince, but gotta think about my family. My cousin was telling me, you made a couple of stuff work for him in the past. He gets to put the squeeze on WWE. Stuff like that people don't understand. Well, a lot of fans don't understand just how big it is behind the scenes. I've talked to certain wrestlers and they gave me the 411 on what happens. I remember we had to talk with Ric Flair, and the squeeze get put on them. When I was having a good conversation with Jerry Lawler, that squeeze, if you become a big name, you can now be like, hey, look, hey man, I need more. And if you're not careful with those contracts, you may be getting I need more from a lot of people. And that's not good for your company to make money because now these names are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Notice, let's go Finn Balor. Prince Devitt had a nice margin of success on the indies. But if you notice, every time he shoot off with his demon character and so forth, he started doing something. Take him back. Let him do a little something, get ooze eyes. Take him back. That's going to continue to happen. That's because of the new business model and business plan. Now, the other issue is AEW. That AEW is to wrestling fans. Hate to do this to people that don't me. I'm just a wrestling fan in general, but AEW is a breath of fresh air, is the savior for a lot of wrestling fans. I'm gonna tell you why. Companies like AEW present that damn, if you watched and looked at what's been going on between WWE, it does affect WWE's practices. Because now it's like, we're gonna have to let this guy do. We're gonna have to take so many people off the leash, let them do what they do. If you notice, they cleared their slate for a lot of people. They let a lot of people go. Because in the beginning, WWE started hoarding talent and just to stop people from being able to be available to go to other companies that were starting up. But now it's like, also, you can't really stop talent because you let Daniel Bryan go.
Yeah, they did.
And also, but not just Daniel Bryan, you let Bray Wyatt go, of all people.
Bray Wyatt.
That's the one thing. That's the one talent I will never get over, letting him go the way they did. And you left us with Alexa Bliss, a really bad spinoff of the character.
You basically had a hook, nail, and sinker with CM Punk through Fox Network. They could have hooked them in through Fox Network, but WWE couldn't hold on to it. See, and I talk about that because there's certain wrestlers that could push the needle for promotion, and we once talked about that once before. Is certain talent. What talent can create that push the needle situation for a new promotion or another promotion? And names like CM Punk can't do that. The ratings went up on Dynamite, and it started. Even Rampage had some good numbers when CM Punk was on it. So, or they can be successful in that particular time slot, or on that station. So a lot of this, literally, is crazy that you got people like Daniel Bryan and CM Punk on AEW. That is a pro wrestling nightmare for a company like WWE, because now they're looked at as, oh, this is a company. Oh, they're a company. They ain't bullshit. So now when certain talent look over, who they got? CM Punk on there? What? All right, going on. You got CM Punk, you got Sting, you got so many different people that are on this promotion and pretty much giving it eyes. Of course, you got Kenny Omega, you got the Young Bucks, you got all these. It's just like, wow, like, okay, they can be scary. Now you got Adam Cole there, who's one of those talents. If you noticed, what I was talking about, they were just about to do that to Adam Cole. They was about to give him the slow him down a little bit. They know about Adam Cole's massive momentum. Notice they was bringing him to the main roster, and they was gonna slow him down, make him a manager real quick.
Okay.
And he didn't want that.
I was wondering why, because I'm like, I mean, I always
at the beginning. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. That's what I mentioned at the beginning of the show. They were making him a manager. He didn't want that. He wanted to wrestle. So, and see whose fault this is not just Vince. That damn Bruce Pritchard. That guy's a douchebag. I think to a lot of wrestlers. I mean, Bruce Pritchard, and this is the one that we used to know. Thank you all years ago when they with the makeup.
So what about Nick Khan then?
Nick Khan, I think, is even worse because he seems to be the new growing power within. He has a lot of pull, and Vince
like I said,
I guess. Go ahead.
Like I said, Adam Cole. The situation with Adam Cole was a prime example of what they do to monitor and slow down the momentum that's going on, because of the minute. Let's be honest. But the minute Adam Cole debuted on the main roster for show. Oh, he's gonna be a high demand. So they have to. Okay, let's slow this down a little bit. And they pulled an unnecessary. They was gonna pull an unnecessary move, and to their demise, Adam Cole, and when he went with it, like, nah, I'm good. I'll go over with my girl, man. I'm gonna go with her. And that's another failure by WWE. They were finna basically monitor his rise. And so we're gonna monitor that just for a second. We're gonna take that down. We're gonna make you manage this guy and kind of to slow down your momentum at the same time. That was them being slick. They want to take the things that people like about Adam Cole and take it down. They were gonna cut his hair. Take the hair.
Cut his hair.
You can't cut the hair. No, you can't cut the hair. A haircut doesn't work for everybody.
It's something about the thing about your essence with fans. A lot of things resonate with them. And hair is one of those little things that fans pick up on a lot of different things. When he like flips up, there's a lot of things that fans emulate. They imitate and look at. It's just like, wow, that's what makes that person that person. Or let's go Triple H. Triple H's interest, that just makes him. Everybody wants to do his fucking interest. They want to spit water in the air. When you say, well, Triple H, you're going to be a manager now, so you won't need to do all that. So we're going to take a lot of things that you do, take it away from you. It's like, whoa, for what? So they're going to cut his hair, turn him into a manager, slow him down. Why?
Yeah, that's my question. Why?
He's not injured.
That honestly feels like the same thing they did with Leo Rush. It really does. Because didn't Leo cut his hair too? Because he had the high top, the blonde high top before, and then he went to the shortcut.
Notice what I said.
Dreads.
Well, y'all gonna see that pattern with a lot of different people. Notice what I said is that they do this with a lot of folks to where it's their way of monitoring and slowing down their momentum because they know that person can hit the ceiling real fast. So we're gonna slow you down.
So it's like micromanaging them basically. Okay.
Because they don't really want you to become a mega star unless they fix your contract the way they got it to where they got you in there for the long haul. Like because if they make another Undertaker, notice also, let's talk about the Undertaker. Notice with the Undertaker, a lot of what we're talking about relates to, of course, the draft because that's why I say it's not really wise to get invested into the draft because it makes, for one, it serves no real purpose because there's no real construction behind it, and then they're not going to really push most of the talent. And now we're explaining why. Undertaker. Everybody want another character that's synonymous to the darker edges of Undertaker. You ain't finna get that. You look at your Bray Wyatt. Yeah, look at him. Look at what happened to the Fiend. They weren't finna let nobody else get to that level of what Undertaker was without signing their complete life over. I'm sorry, Undertaker, their soul over.
And he could have. But the other one, there's one Bloodsport 1 mentioned in the comments. There's another one they messed up also who could have been that character, Aleister Black.
They wouldn't finna let that happen either. No,
I know, but Aleister Black was a man. I'm sorry, but like I said, he's in a good place now. AEW, like I said, Adam Cole, Aleister Black, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, all in one shot. I mean, hey Vince, are you over there smoking crack or something? I mean, look what's happening. I mean, good God Almighty.
The thing about this is AEW is a very, because a lot of folks think they look, oh, AEW, look, they got a 700,000 this week, like this. But the thing about it is, AEW is very fucking new. Now this is unheard of for a promotion to start out and reach the success of the hype. Or AEW started out, and they're the first promotion to start out on a major league level. They literally started out in an arena.
That's true.
We haven't seen anything like that in our day and age of time, where this promotion starts out and now they're going weekly basis, and they're in arenas that they're not in a impact zone. They're in an arena. It's unheard of. In the big fields, big stadiums. It's like, whoa, what's going on here? We've never seen that before. So these are very different times. That's selling out this, selling out that. So, and also the unique thing is about AEW that they're new. This is a 3-year-old company to be getting. Because I remember when TNA first was starting out, and they was getting 30 minutes of television time at one point.
Yeah, they had the little pay-per-view things that they used to do on the TV thing. I remember that. Damn, I feel old.
Yeah. So once again, even that explains a lot of it. It shows you just the growth and how big and how well connected this promotion came out and what they were doing. So that's scary. So they are a problem. No matter what you see in the ratings, they're a problem. They're a major problem.
I've never looked at ratings as like a big deal because I felt like a lot of people don't like invest in cable the way they used to. Because me, I just cut my cable off recently. Like I don't invest in cable. Like I don't feel the need to have it anymore. Yeah, like back then, you kind of had to have it, but now you got all these devices. You don't have to like.
Yeah, now it's cheaper.
The thing is now there are ways to monitor your viewership outside of cable listings. There, social media. you pay attention to AEW's Instagram, the YouTube, wherever they have a social media platform, the AEW official Facebook page, anything that can show viewership. Pay attention to them and accumulate those numbers, because them tell you what's looking at them. Facebook and other companies are looking at them because they're going to sell them off to advertise like companies, or companies that would use that platform, want to use that platform to advertise on, so they can get them ad or pay them ad prices on it. So all of that means a great deal. And then of course television ads as well. All of that means a great deal to what they're marketing towards. So that's why it's important for us to who they're marketing to, and viewership, and the attention that they're getting. But the attention that AEW is getting in such a short time is unheard of. It's like, wow. So people don't understand just how big of a deal it is. Some do, but some don't. Some people just they're defending WWE, and they're afraid that, or they don't like the arrogance of an AEW mark. Because one thing about AEW fans is they can be very, very overly happy. Yeah, AEW.
I get into it with them.
To you, WWE. Yeah, AEW. Oh yeah, we're AEW. We're gonna be the best one. And me, I'm right in the middle. I'm enjoying both, but I call it how I see it on both ends. And I understand where a lot of WWE casual fans look at AEW fans like, you fucking man, fuck that, fuck AEW, fuck that. Company's gonna die in about a year.
I'm guilty of, well, maybe not dying in a year, but I'm guilty of that. Like, fuck AEW. I'm guilty of that. I just do it just kind of piss off fans sometimes. Like on Twitter, especially. I just do it just to mess with them because they get so hostile and they get so like upset by my commentary. But I mean,
me personally, I don't mess with them at all. But I kind of knew AEW was going to hit, because even the first All In, I said, yeah, this is going somewhere. But it's going to take time. Now,
I look at Tony. For one, I've known Tony Khan and his father before AEW ventures, and when I found out that the Khans were into pro wrestling, I said, "Oh shit!" I said, "Ain't no Jeff Jarrett involved?" I said, "Oh shit! Oh shit! This is." See, y'all didn't know what I knew. What I because for those who don't know, Tony Khan's father owns Black News Network. All the major Black media. I researched that a while back ago. I had been knew that.
The most I knew about Tony Khan was he owned the Jacksonville Jaguars. Plus,
I do know.
Here's the downside of AEW. Also, when people look at AEW, okay, you're bringing in. Also, the downside is the flip side of the coin. It's basically they're bringing in ex WWE guys constantly, which is making it look like WCW 2.0. They're saying, okay, the lure and I guess the hype of that is going to wear off soon. And also, if you notice, I saw this Brian Cage. His wife is also complaining about her man not getting enough time on television anymore ever since he split with the FTW, the Taz clique. So
let me make a quick correction so everybody knows. No, his father, Khan, the senior Khan, he owns Black News Network. Look at it; it's public knowledge. He's the one that does, and all of these business ventures before it was that let me know when I heard that Khans were getting into wrestling. It came from a different article. This was before, it's shortly around. It was a little bit before they did All In. I was hearing about the adventures of him being interested in pro wrestling, and when this happened, I said, "Oh," because I was like, because I remember when Wale was talking about he was interested in getting into wrestling. I was like, yeah. But then when I heard about this Tony Khan, Khan's son, I said, "Hold on, this could be a problem. This is a real." Yeah, this is a real big problem, and it just looked fucking phenomenal. Now, look at them now. Look at the business relationship. They on TNT. They got a show called Dynamite on TNT. Then they got access to all of the Turner networks, TBS. Hell, they probably gonna be on W. I don't know. They finna be somewhere every goddamn where. And I think now they're going to be on Dynamite's going to be on TBS and Rampage going to stay on TNT. This is good for the
So you
networks.
think they're gonna start having like billboards and stuff like that, like in New York City, Times Square? Because I live in New York, so that's what I'm saying. Like they're gonna have like the big old posters with like, oh, they do? Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
No, the
yeah,
point I was making was the thing is, I know they own this and everything, and speaking of that, what happened to Ted Turner? But anyway, but I mean, who knows? I guess he's retired now. But the thing is, I know they got the money and they got all momentum. But when they start to fizzle out, if they start bringing in WWE guys constantly, but the thing is, the homegrown talent is going to get pushed to the side, and you don't want to do that. You want to keep pushing Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, Darby Allin, everybody who's new and fresh there. I know Powerhouse Hobbs. I would like to see Powerhouse Hobbs get a push.
I disagree. I disagree with the AEW 2.0 statement.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Okay.
Nowhere, and a lot of people say that, but they got it very twisted. I remember somebody point out similarities. They was like, hey, like similarity posts, but that post didn't show you everything to an actual punctual truth. There's a lot of things that weren't similar at all. And then if that's the case, then you got to look at the similarities between Vince McMahon and Tony Khan. There, you can draw certain points, but business-wise, no, their business ventures and business structures are not the same. That's why I think about
it now. You're right. Because see, Tony Khan's not Eric Bischoff, and Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, are not Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Nash. See, with them,
you gotta look at you gotta look at the business practices. The business practices.
Yeah.
Tony Khan is, for one, let's look at the truth about him. The guy is a fucking wrestling nerd, and he's a wrestling nerd with money.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah.
That's really scary for any, but he's not just a wrestling nerd with money. He's a very successful businessman. So that means he knows how to dot I's and T's and knows how to make sure that the paperwork is right, deals are done good and sufficiently, and he loves doing it. That's a problem. That is a major big tyrant promoter's worst nightmare is a fucking rich, privileged geek that literally has the power to do what he wants to do when he wants to. That's
and
he's
doing it the right way. Actually, he's doing it the right way. I mean, I understand Brian Cage's girlfriend's point of view, but maybe he ought to have a little more patience. It's not. It's like it can be like WCW 2.0, but it's not. Like you said, it's not. It's not because it's different.
I'm gonna get to the 2.0 crap. The 2.0 crap is this here. Now, is WCW never started off like AEW? No, they didn't. WCW at year 3 did not look like AEW now.
Okay, because plus WCW was like NWA from the 80s. It was a long time running promotion for years.
To crush my wannabe simple-minded friends who want to make things so simple so they can understand it and they can really penalize it a little bit so they can throw it away and then step on it. I'm gonna hurt your feelings for a second.
Oh shit.
Never before in our lifetime have we ever witnessed a company like this. So you cannot compare it. WCW was nowhere near the success at that time. They didn't have that massive exposure. You're in a day and age of social media. Social media is a different flip because you can go viral just like that. And now AEW has access to all of that. So the level of what we're dealing with here, you've never seen it. So you cannot predict it. You can't predict and say, all right, AEW is going to be done in 2 years.
I don't know why people say that. They used to say that about Impact all the time.
How can you do that now when in this day and age, it's not likely. Not likely, right? Like we've never seen a company like AEW ever. So stop with the front. I'm a smart mark, but at the same time, I know when to hold them and to fold them. I mean, I like to make fun of AEW fans, but I just can't say, yeah, they're another WCW. No, they're not. WCW wasn't on this level. The way they got their business set up is way more better than WCW's right now. Look at what they're able to do. Exactly. Look at what they're able to do. So I don't know. I mean, WCW wasn't doing a lot of smart businesses and copyrighting the right proper names and branding and owning the right leases to life. Like they weren't doing shit like that. I mean, look at Tony Khan put Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, he put all of them as EVPs. But a lot of y'all took that title and ran with it left field. He give the company to them. No, that's temporarily. You know how to you can temporarily adjust people's one. it was going to have to be temporary. People don't understand the business behind what Cody Rhodes done. He demoted Cody Rhodes. No, you fucking idiot. Cody Rhodes has what, 2 television deals with TNT?
Yeah, I think he got
And
a
just
show
started.
too coming out.
Yeah, no, it's out. Episode 1's
Oh, it
already
is.
out.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
okay.
It's called Rose to the
television
Top.
deals.
So go ahead.
Two television deals, along with a new baby.
Mm-hmm.
And
This beautiful black woman.
there's a movie and another show underway. So you do you really think Cody Rhodes is going to be EVP for long? No.
That's too much work because he's already got more work outside that now.
The Young Bucks are working on another. I think they finna do another DVD, and they got a book they finna produce. They got more deals. They supposed to be getting. They got. I don't know if they already did the shoe deal, but they got so many different deals coming through. Those roles gonna change. They have too much to do now.
Yeah, because they can promote themselves. Yeah, too much to do now. Yeah.
Kenny Omega, the game is getting ready to launch. A lot of this stuff they can't just. Their roles are gonna have to change to where somebody else can fill them because they're gonna be too busy. It's not Tony Khan fired them. No, they had. It was always temporary. They were starting up the company, so they had to do some things to keep it going and keep it. But roles are gonna have to change, and they're changing now. And a lot of fans jump to the guns. People, we say stuff because it sounds cute to us. We think it's cute to say, and it makes us feel good and a shelter. But at the same time, no, this WCW 2.0 only in your fantasy. The closest thing you got to WCW 2.0 was TNA. That's the closest thing we got to.
And look at TNA now, because basically I don't even watch I almost don't watch Impact no more. I mean, I watch it now and then. I like Rosemary. Oh, and that's apparently where the rumor is. That's where Braun Strowman's going to sign. He's going to sign with Impact. They're saying it's been rumored he's talked to AEW, but he's not coming. Now Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, their contract's coming up. They may join, especially Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens is good friends with the Elite, so he may come to AEW. Oh, real quick, I want to send some shout outs to the chat. Welcome, Sherman Scott. What's up, buddy? Brother Melendez, how you doing? And also Bloodsport 1, thanks for the comments and thanks for watching.
I would so rather Kevin Owens go to New Japan because I mean, even though the thing about it is tricky. A lot of folks don't understand this. It's tricky, people. Like right now, you can't just say, "Oh, this guy is they're gonna go here, go there." It kind of don't matter. Most of the time, talent can go there, but it's short term. Now you knew Daniel Bryan and CM Punk were not doing a fucking exclusive deal with AEW. They're not. He had surgery.
Yeah.
No. It's not him. I'm sorry. I take it back. It's not. It's selective exclusive because certain, of course, to the rights and leases of image and all the type of stuff and selling the merchandise. It's a different deal. These deals are very unique. Now they have certain appearances and so forth that's made, so their deal is a lot different than any deal. These are not just set exclusive. Who had an exclusive deal? I think Kenny Omega had one, but everything is like company approval type of situation. And the relationship that Tony Khan has built with other promotions, as far as working inner talent, is fucking awesome. Like
and they're working with TNA with the Impact also. They're working with Impact.
The paperwork. That's why I was stating. Some people don't understand the seriousness of how good this little geek does his business, to where literally it's protecting their company, it's giving them what they need. They siphoning what they need from other promotions. They're giving promotions. Like, it's just, look at what they doing. The deal he did with Christian Cage to Impact Wrestling, and Impact, like it's so much that is just there. That's great about the business that he's doing. So the talent that comes there, he don't have to just pay a boatload of money to try to keep them there and just be exclusive. That can cost a lot of money. That can cost and waste a lot of resources. WWE was signing you to a pure out exclusive, to where you're only us, you're only here. But Tony Khan is like, here, you can do 10 dates with us. The other you can go do other places. Oh, I can work in New Japan. But we're gonna make that part of the storyline here. They're gonna put that there. Oh, you want to do a AAA too? You want to do a AAA show? Okay, all the other books, like they got it. He got it so mapped out perfectly with these wrestlers, to where they're like, oh, I got freedom here, and I can go work her. Like that way, you got the hottest talent that got dates with your company and they're going other places and still repping your brand. It's fucking smart. You're capitalizing on each end. If you don't see Tony Khan as a problem in pro wrestling, as far as a good thing, I don't know what to tell you. You just got some issues that you just don't like other people that oppose your favorite brand. Now I understand some people are just smart.
I think it's a conditioning thing, because I was just kind of talking about conditioning as far as wrestling goes.
So what kind of conditioning would you call Vince McMahon? Senile
No, I'm
conditioning?
saying like
His motherfucker senile is I don't know what. And the older he gets, the worse it gets.
I mean, think of it from a storyline perspective. Like let's take Dominic and Rey Mysterio. Everybody keeps saying how Dominic is supposed to turn heel to attack Rey Mysterio. Big E or Kofi or whoever should turn heel to, like, I think it's one of those. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like when WWE or wrestling in general, like when they do certain storylines or certain things, you kind of know what's coming next, so you automatically kind of like jump ahead and predict it. And I think what Sean is trying to say, AEW is kind of turning it in a different direction. Rather than you jumping the gun and saying what they're gonna do, they're turning it in a different direction and making you actually like expand your horizon instead of being so conditioned to just, ABC. Like now you can go AF, KL, stuff like that. I think that's what Sean's trying to say. Like he's making you go in so many different directions rather than just, a straight narrow line. It's just all over the place.
I think I said it pretty clearly. Is business is being done and done at a fine level.
Okay.
If you're gonna try to just put it simple in your mind that, this is what's gonna happen because I've seen this in WCW, then that's what I'm saying that no, you're mistaken. The business is done so good and the deals are done so good that this company literally has their shit together. See, WCW was finding their way. You have a nerd.
So can that be a part of conditioning though? Like if they're stuck in their way, that could be a form of conditioning.
That'll come from what they're used to, right? With what's going on now, not understanding. It's like understanding your opponent. When I used to fight, I studied my opponent. I understood what he was about. But if I realized this cat is as much of a fight buff as I am, like he's smart, he's intelligent. This is what he lives and eats this. Okay, I'm not dealing with just some guy who just works out athletic and who loves to fight, who loves to get punched like punch back. I'm dealing with somebody who studies this, who can tell me this Tony Khan dude can tell you. Y'all seen his interviews where he'll tell you the match, the time, the date, who won, what happened. Like the dude is a fucking encyclopedia. And a lot of guys that I work with, they come do my shows and do my bookings. They're like that dude will literally, he'll call a match and tell you everything that happened that year, that time. Tony Khan is like it's kind of scary. He could do that. I only met two people that could do that. They can call certain matches. There's other veteran wrestler out here towards Tennessee, and another fellow. But Tony Khan can literally tell you about a match back in some fucking spring stampede day, and this happened and that happened and that happened, and this like he does. If you watch the interviews, you'll see it, and that's not an act. He can do that. It's the weirdest, creepiest thing ever that he can do. He can call certain matches and tell you who won. They call that's what when they call him a wrestling encyclopedia. He really is. That dude is. It's insane. He's a genius, but it's weird how that's why you can tell that he was one of them geniuses that had too much access. He had all the access to wrestling, and it's weird. So that's why I say you're not dealing with a regular Joe Smo or somebody who's just like one of us, a wrestling fan, and just all right, I know what that is. It's not that simple because the way he got his contracts done for these names is coming through. It protects his company. It draws interest. It builds towards a certain way. So you can't say, oh, this is WCW 2.0. It's not that simple.
No, I never called it WCW 2.0.
No.
Okay.
It wasn't you, but
Okay,
it was one of my good friends in the chat and comment. But I picked on him because I also seen others do that, and I would see I witnessed debates. I witnessed WB marks and AEW marks debate each other, and a lot of AEW marks always end up winning that debate when they say shit like that. And I was just explaining to why how you can dodge getting out of that debate. Do not go in simple minded like, this is good. Look, Ted Turner did this, and Tony. No, but there's a lot of shit. See, those little memes don't show you the facts. They only show you what they can relate, but they don't show you the full slate. So a lot of WWE marks always look silly when they try to challenge an AEW mark. That's because they look at things in a glass half full situation. You have to know what the hell you're talking about. You know, you should want to. And that's why I say I like, that's just a way of us just throwing it off and just making fun. But no, AEW is not a WCW 2.0. The closest thing you can get to WCW 2.0, and I said it already, is TNA. That was the closest thing you could have got to it, and that's over with. As far as that.
Because when they first started, they were awesome. I mean, they had Mike Tenay, you had Don West, and all of them are gone. I mean, you know, it's totally changed now. I mean, you know, so it's.
Did they start off with Mike Tenay? They didn't start off with Mike. They
didn't start with him. I mean, when they got a TV deal and it got televised, it was.
I know
Mike
Don
Tenay
West
came in. It started
Jeff
Jarrett, and they had some announcers. I never knew him. The thing is, this is when they were doing like 1 hour pay-per-views every week for $9.99. And then they expanded, and eventually they got a deal, a 1 hour deal at a really late time slot on, I think, on TNN, one of them channels. I know it was FS1 or somewhere. That's when they had Samoa Joe and AJ Styles who were just coming up. Then they switched stations, and then eventually Dixie Carter came in, 2 hours. That's when Bischoff came in at one time. And of course, that's when they got Scott Hall, Hulk Hogan. They called him the band for a while. But you know, and then Sting came in also, and then it went from there, and it started going downhill like it is now.
You get us the whole
the whole timeline. Well, I watched it from start to finish. I watched it up until it wasn't good anymore. You know.
Okay.
A lot of folks miss Dixie now, but Dixie did the best she could, and this card did the best she could for that company. It wouldn't go. She's not a Tony Khan. If we want to pick it, we can pick it apart.
I was gonna say that. Do you think she didn't have the wrestling background to like understand it?
Yeah, that's why she got such a bad rap and
a
lot of flack.
This what I'm gonna say. Dixie had a lot of heart for her company. She did a lot of shit that most owners would. She had that love and that heart like a Tony Khan. Tony is a fucking nerd. He's a nerd. And if y'all know genius and little nerds and how strategic they are, and they pay attention to the minor little detail, like Dixie reacts off her heart and her compassion. She has connections. They have the money, but the business and also Dixie has the history with wrestling. A lot of folks don't know it, but Dixie was running wrestling shows on her indie days. She was doing like carnival shows, like fairground shows and stuff like that. She was doing a lot of nights. She used to book a lot of big names at her fairground shows. So a lot of folks don't understand. Dixie Carter just came under where she know. No, dumbass. Dixie Carter's a fucking. She's a wrestling promoter. Like she just decided, you know what, I'm gonna take. What happened was she used to book Jeff Jarrett on a lot of her shows. The Jarrett's and all them on a lot of their fairground shows like that. And so it was like, you know what? Like Jared, why don't you take it to a higher level? What you mean? You should run your own show. I never really had the time. Well, I'll manage it for you. You just, if you want to, okay. And that's how Dixie really got involved with pro wrestling. Because she was just doing as a side hobby, doing big shows with y'all see them indie shows with a lot of big names on them. They have like bunch of the legends and a bunch of these names. You're like, man, it's a big ass show. This need to be on somebody's program. But she would do that. They had the money like that. And so it's just that Dixie, she knew her shit. It's just that when it comes to a genius, a fucking wrestling encyclopedia cat that is doing top-notch business, has a very rich and successful family. Now Dixie has a very rich, successful family, but Khan's father, he loves the shit out of his son. Like, hey, you and my daughter have that shit. How many billions you need? Take it. Like, man, like it's amazing how much is invested into AEW, but you got to look at it. It's the contracts, it's the conditioning of the business. That part is what's so solid with them. That's why if I went to school for business, so y'all got to understand this why I admire it so much. When I look at great business deals, I'm like, ooh, that's cold. Ooh, I love it. Because to me, it's just so awesome how they're doing business in AEW, and the way they're protecting their company, and that's why I say TNA and WCW ain't got shit on AEW business wise. Like,
true, yeah. Now that you say it like that, yeah.
If the doors close right now, AEW be straight. The company, the people that own it will be good. Nothing would affect them. But WCW, but WCW, and the way WCW ended was not by WWE. And I hate that narrative when people try to say WWF put WCW out of business. That's not true. Not at all.
I just think it's just to get people hyped and
And fantasy wise, now narrative, it sounds cool. It was interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
When you look at the actual situation, you find out WWE had nothing to do with what they got there.
It was WCW from within, because what happened was Bischoff tried to buy it, and he even said it on the tape I got, the Monday Night Wars tape, which I still have, I still look at. He said he was on to buy it, but the people said no, the deal's off. So I think Vince O'Shane probably went to the people that he was dealing with and offered them some big money, and they took it. So they went out the door, and so it was done. So Bischoff said,
WCW was a success. Even the so-called ratings going up, that was very iffy because the ratings were still sufficient to add. The ads, your commercial spots and so forth. So WCW was still a success, even in that 2000, 2001, 2000 era. They were still a success. Only thing I think about it was the fact of there'll be venue placements is another thing, but it wasn't a horrible business venture that Ted got into and then he just lost money. That's not it. It's also company placement as far as with the new internet venture that was coming through, the high-speed internet and all the type of stuff they were doing. Ted wasn't going to be micromanage that shit. Even his companies, it's so many different clean out. It's a lot of things that happen from multiple ends. I gotta go back to my report, but multiple different ends that took down the business up. Because actually, the reason why I know so much on it is because in my business class, that's what I had to present. That's one of my projects. I presented WCW, the TNT WCW situation, and I had all the stuff put up, and which showed you what was going on. They could have still, the WCW name was a draw, it was still a pool. It was just also the other thing that killed it was contracts. As far as it continued going on was contracts. That's why you notice a lot of people from WCW just sat it out. They was like, I just sit on some free money. Shit.
It was a lot of free money too. And I think that's what Ted Turner lost. I think he lost a lot of free money with the contracts, especially Goldberg's contracts. They had to pay Goldberg his contract just to get him off the books. And that was a big blow. But touch on Zargon, I remember this. Bischoff said this. He said, the executive says, okay, we'll give you the rings, we'll give you the library and all this, but we're not going to give you the TV time. He said, well, the TV time, WWE is worth about $20. So that's why they put out. So they said he could have owned everything, but they're not going to give him they were not going to put him back on TV. So that's when here comes Vince McMahon. He bought the competition. He bought him up, and he did what he did. Well, basically he spent up those years burying it with all the dumb shit he did. With the ECW.
Eric Bischoff did not have, no matter what story you hear from Eric Bischoff, that shit's just for show. Eric Bischoff did not have the connections to pull off managing a brand, especially one of the nature of WCW.
So basically, everything he said was a lie. Probably was a lie.
He would have had to downsize WCW massively. You wouldn't have been able to recognize WCW. If you don't believe me, look at what TNA was and look at what they became to the Impact level. At one point,
I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
Before the pandemic, That shit looked like a pandemic. Wouldn't nobody in it. This they were practicing that shit way before the pandemic. Like literally after Dixie left, and then they did the whole "we got an owl as our logo" shit. It just started getting weirder and weirder and weirder.
Well, they
Then
lost
it
money.
just
Yeah, see, the funding went behind it, and then also now I don't know who controls it now, but Scott Demore looks like he controls it because he's like the authority. You know, the guy that was doing Team Canada,
like
the fat dude with the glasses.
you can look at it to where look at TNA was inside of Glasgow arenas and shit like that. All
Yeah,
of a
no, well,
sudden,
they were based in the MGM studio for a long time in Florida. They're based in Florida, the MGM studios. But the thing is, they moved to
what
Canada.
I'm saying is they could move. And also one thing that was masterfully done, we got to give him his credit. Vince McMahon when they bought out, they was buying arenas when the Spike deal, with the Spike TV deal. The ultimate decision maker that led to that was the fact that TNA couldn't sustain and lock in a good venue. Spike was paying money for a show, but they're not going to pay money for a show in a fucking small ass venue. If they, what led to a lot of this understanding was Bellator. Bellator was on Spike Channel at the same time. Bellator is in arenas, is in arenas that can at least hold 10,000 people. So you have TNA with all these stars, and you want say what? We're gonna keep Hogan in this fucking zone. Y'all want to present? No, we good. It's no point. It's stupid, because they want that look. We want you guys to look like that. They gonna point at WWE. Can you get it? We want that. Well, get that arena right there. But one thing that Vincent Company did that was brilliant and was so wonderful. Why I admire him as a businessman. They pre-booked the arenas. Anytime, because what you have to put a deposit. It's like when I would book certain artists to come do shows or parties, concerts, I gotta put a deposit on this venue. Vincent Company would go put money and go ahead and purchase that date. That just stopped this person's momentum. If TNA is gonna put on the show at this arena, it's already sorry guys. I know you guys put a deposit, we're gonna refund you your money. This state's booked now. Booked? What you mean booked? Well, it's booked already. They were booking, they were pre-booked. Like it was a story. It's a big story on it. It's not Vince didn't hide from it. Facts. They bought out venues from TNA, and that led to part of mainly the demise with Spike saying, "Look, guys, we want a show from you guys, but look, you're presenting your show in smaller venues, and we want that big feel. Look at what Bellator. Look at Bellator. Look at that. Look at UFC. Look at that. We want our product to be displayed in that setting. They couldn't get that. That was a major problem. Vince was fucking with them, and Vince, that was a smart thing what they were doing. Now the problem with, you say, well, why can't they do that to AEW? They tried. Not a good thing. AEW has the resources, has the connections. Tony Khan is in the NFL. He's a sports owner.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of arenas there.
If you try to stop him, okay, my cousin's running that football field over there, so they got arenas they can get to. And then if you want to play pissy, Tony Khan got some pull too. You know what I'm saying? So it can get ugly. It can be a situation where all of a sudden Tampa Bay, W has a council Tampa Bay Stadium. Somebody just purchased. They can play it too. So Vince didn't want to get. They don't want to get into that type of battle. When you got somebody who can match you in competition as far as levels and making deals and buying certain stuff, that could get and that can get real ugly for them. So they picked who they're gonna battle with and how they're gonna battle with them. You don't want to go into a money war with a family like the Khans. You don't want to get into that. You can get ugly.
So it's a good thing to see somebody can match Vince McMahon. Like I said, I want to see WWE go down personally myself, just for all the shit that Vince has done.
To clarify, we always say Vince McMahon, but I always try to make it my thing to say Vince McMahon and company, because a lot of stuff ain't just Vince McMahon. It's the parent company. It's like, hey, look, we invest a lot of money into this, so we gonna do this. Okay,
That's what I'm saying. That's why they say they're a publicly traded company, because it's not just Vince.
And I'm always hearing, despite that, Vince always has the final say so when it comes to creative and decisions, when it comes to business, even not just matches but everything.
Because he probably has a majority share in the company. That's probably what
but then
it
again,
is.
he's also selling a whole lot of stock, also at times too. Him and his good son-in-law and his bitch cunt of a daughter, or something.
I'm gonna say this.
Okay,
I'm gonna say this. The final say so thing ain't what it sounds like. The final say
that's
so.
a good thing. Okay, it's hard to believe, but I guess that's a good thing.
I'm gonna say this. Let's say Vince McMahon has the final say so in all decisions. Do you really think he wants to fuck up money? If you really thought that, then the programming of the programming of WB would be a lot different. The programming of WWE would be what we really want to see. A lot of stuff that he knows he pulls certain stuff off, USA or Fox Network or like that, and all the NBC. Like if they want something done, we want that. Like he changes up. You hear stories about him storming down. They rewriting Raw right before.
Yeah, he's always tearing up scripts. An hour before Raw, and then after rewriting this and backstage, the environment for both SmackDown and Raw is total chaos.
This is after he already submitted how they were gonna do it. But all of a sudden, if them fucking networks don't want it, or if this other investor don't want that shit on there, they want you to change it. Hey, Vince, bring back John Cena. Oh, he doesn't make sense for this, and they're not really cheering John Cena right now. Bring back John Cena.
That's an order.
Make him
okay, so he's saying bring back John Cena. That's an order. Okay, so he
really want to be back. Do you really want to be Vince McMahon going back and being the final decision for that? No, you're gonna be like, all right, look, fuck it. We're gonna bring John Cena back. Whoa, Vince, everybody loves Daniel Bryan. He's gonna grab that. We're gonna bring John Cena back. He's gonna go over Daniel Bryan. What the fuck is you doing, Vince?
Not me, coming from me. This is coming from the higher ups, obviously.
Paul Heyman, we're gonna remove you as a great. What? The crowd's loving this. We're gonna remove you. Like what the hell? This is everything ain't Vince's final say so, and you don't want to be that person trying to, like you said, he can, but he's gonna lose some endorsements. He's gonna lose some money connections.
A lot of endorsements.
That's gonna get very ugly for an individual. And not I said it's gonna make him broke, but Vince don't like Vince. From my look at it from his practice, they don't like spending their own goddamn money. And they want to keep their big stadium connections. They want to keep all that. So you gotta give them what they fucking want. So he ain't as much control as we would like to think. It's just not,
or basically what he like, or basically what he would like to think. I think he likes to think he would like to think he's controlled because that's what you hear in the media. Vince McMahon this. And his Triple H had his little medical problem.
Whenever you hear reports, I'm gonna tell you something.
Yeah, he's no longer in control of NXT from what I hear, at least right now.
Whenever you hear reports of Vince McMahon storming to the goddamn show, showing up him goddamn self and having to rewrite the whole fucking show, that is not a good sign of that he is in control. That is a very, very horrible sign of that he
somebody
got
else is in control.
Somebody put that 5 in his ass. Hey, look, if you don't change the goddamn show, fuck your WrestleMania. No. I'm going down. We're gonna make it. We're gonna edit it. That's not a. Whenever, like when I run my other company, my attraction, and I have to deal with sponsors, and some sponsors pay real good money. And if they say, hey, can you change this for us? And I say, oh no, that's we like that. And I went against some of my sponsors or my endorsers, and if I've lost a lot of them because sometimes I don't want to budge for it, but I will change some shit because there's some sponsors that are very generous, and I was like, we're gonna change this right here, we're gonna change that, we're gonna change that. So I understand now he's on a higher level, so they're talking about tens of thousands of dollars. So yeah, he's gonna change some shit. So he ain't got that kind of say so that we think he do, but it's cute. But whenever you got to rush to your goddamn show and change up last, because I know about putting your show together before because you don't want to making last minute change ups can really fuck up the vibe and the direction. Because the one thing you want to, especially when you're booking a wrestling show, when I'm booking the indie shows, as long as we got sense of direction where we're going, the show can flow good. We don't have to write every scene and sketch out. But when you gotta change the flow and the direction of the show, that can get ugly. That can be a live show nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare. Because if I got my champion, the flow of the show is the forming of a faction and the champion in doubt of winning at his defense, his pay-per-view defense. So that's the angle we got to go. So we got to book the show. So the week before we didn't put it on. Say for instance, that Saturday we didn't got the show completely figured out for Monday. So now all of a sudden Malik X calls me and Zargon says, "Hey, look, we got to change the show." What? So I tell y'all, man, fuck off. We ain't changing shit because we got our flow. Now changes. No, it's a difference because people don't understand changes is different. You can change. There's stuff that you cannot predict. There can be one of the guys can get sick. One of the guys can catch he can get in trouble with the law. So, but you know the flow of the show. So we know the direction we're going in. But when you have to change everything or change the actual direction, that's when it's a problem. That's from somebody else. They say, "Hey, look," Malik might say, "Hey, look, no, Sean, we got to change the show. They don't like this. So we need to change the whole wave of the direction you're going." So hold on, we can't do the formula of the faction and the champion in doubt. No, they want you to show the guy that wears the baseball cap, goody two shoes guy. They want you to push him, and they want to tell the story of him getting married. What?
Wow.
Now I got to come in. Now we got to do some angle that nobody really cares about, and you'll notice that WWE will do that quite often. You're like, why in the fuck are we getting this? We don't care about that. Fuck fucking Baron Corbin and his fucking financial problems. We don't want to see no shit like that.
That was a stupid angle. I don't understand.
I love that angle. I love Baron Corbin, so I'm gonna be the oddball here. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys.
No, but it doesn't make no sense. I mean, think about you doing a homeless character situation. You know goddamn well that man ain't homeless, and how you gonna be homeless working for WWE? Come on now. That was to me that was a little too obvious to me. So that's why I didn't find it funny.
You can be dependent on who you are on the card, where you are on the card.
I kind of liked it for what it was, but it was it was the filler for them because they didn't really explore it. They could. There was ways. That's places they could have went with the actual story.
I hear you. It just when I saw, I'm like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. Okay, now you getting to me. To me, Vincent Creative went to the toilet with that one. Went to the bottom of the ocean with that one.
Yeah, it was
for you. If you liked it, Gabe, more power to you, brother. To each his own. That's all I'm gonna say for that.
It was for us to forget. I use that as an example. I was really meaning like stuff like the what was that Constable Corbin and shit like that. Like those are just nobody wanted Constable Corbin. That just he was. Yeah, it was just weird. It was like what. What the fuck is a constable? Okay, constable.
No, it was constable. Okay, constable can be short for constipation. Maybe he's constipated Corbin, but that's another story. But anyway,
I mean, if you look at it, he was just kind of a recycled Kane, corporate Kane. It was just because a lot of people hated that corporate Kane character, and they just pretty much took it and just put it with Corbin, and then that's why Corbin got, so much heat from the fans because it was like they were seeing a remake of Kane.
Now, Malik, you talked about Mr. X. You talked about Brian Cage. I got to be that guy, man. That's all stunt. All that's all stunt. And I'm gonna say this, man. Fuck Brian Cage and that whole stance of everybody talking about. Let me tell you this here. When you are, how do you want? I don't believe. First, I'm gonna say this before what I'm saying get taken out of context. That's just clout. That's just them promoting. I don't really think they have no real ill will towards AEW no booking. They're just boosting up their momentum, trying to spin it somewhere else. But how is it that you're going to, in real life, if this was a real issue? If Brian Cage booking on AEW was a real issue, then when in the fuck were you going to finally have some balls and say something? So you had no problem with some of his booking that he got booked in Lucha Underground. You have no problem with how he got his ass whooped and handed to him in a world heavyweight title match against Tessa Blanchard.
I'm not even going to
Yeah, I
talk
remember
about
that
that.
now.
I'm going to
That's
leave that alone.
That's a really good point.
I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not even touching that.
If you will, brothers. So we're not going to talk about the Impact World Title, brothers. If you will, when he lost to the race bone, racist ass Tessa Blanchard, and she picked him up like a bitch and power. Like we're not going to talk about that. But she can't beat a big bitch when a big bitch beat her. But she can't beat. But she can beat Brian Cage, brother. I don't understand this.
Yeah, I get you now. I get you right. You're right. I almost
Machine?
forgot about that, but now that you mentioned that, I remember that. Yeah, he did get. He
Oh,
decided to job to Brian Cage.
He got his ass kicked in the Lucha Underground by some. You know what?
I'm surprised his girlfriend didn't complain about that.
Yes, I'm just like, hold up. So because he had some weird bookings in Lucha Underground, which had him being very compromised. But in Impact Wrestling, him losing the way he lost to Tessa Blanchard, what the? That's it. For those of you that don't remember, you have to remember that Tessa Blanchard was Impact World Champion. So that means that she's in the
I'm
right.
not touching that either.
She's up there with your
That's
Sting.
true, yeah.
She's up there with your Jeff Jarrett. She's up there with your fucking we can go Kurt Angle. Oh yeah. She stands on the list with Kurt Angle.
True.
So there's Jeff Hardy. There's a lot of people. Robert Roode, Drew McIntyre. Yes, that means that if we had a whole battle royal of champions, Tessa Blanchard will be in that fucking match. So
yeah. Speaking of her, go ahead.
Tessa little ass Blanchard beat.
Sorry.
She didn't beat him in a run in. Somebody interfered. No, she beat him straight up. So if we gonna talk about his treatment, he need to be treated better. He need to be treated. We're gonna talk about his booking. Fuck out of here. We totally missed him. Like he's been shown pretty much the right way here. Like, what the fuck else you want him to do in AEW right now? I mean, like,
true, yeah. And the thing is, even though he's been shown the right way,
they want him to be the world champion right now. That's probably what a lot of people want.
He's not ready. Like, I watched a couple of like his test run was with Taz. The guy can't really hold very much weight on the mic. His storytelling in segments is not that goddamn good.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, he's not entertaining. The thing is, he's big. Yes, he has a look. He's got muscle. He would thrive in WWE, but for this promotion,
I know I'm a real good friend.
Let's put it that way. Brian Cage doesn't sell tickets. So CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, like I said, Adam Cole, they're gonna sell tickets. And Kenny Omega still sells tickets, as does the Young Bucks and John Moxley, of course, and Eddie Kingston, So
much love and respect to all my friends, especially everybody because me and Brian Cage have a lot of close friends. So I know some of they might see this, but I'm just saying, if this would, that's why I say I don't believe what they're doing is a real shot. I believe it's a work. It's a clear work, because if that was an issue, the issue would have been said long ago. But right now,
backstage in private,
it's his placement. It's his down to his mic skills, to what he can deliver in promos and his angles. He has not made any angle that he's been put in has not felt special. Even his angle with everybody. I'm just gonna die everybody. I'm just gonna be real with you. Nothing that he's done on this show, and he's had some good matchups against people but it was not. He didn't push the needle. He didn't make those angles feel good. Like I didn't get anything out of him. So correct me if y'all felt something, but I didn't get that from any of his performances. His feuds. His feuds were never lifted. If you say, well, what do you mean, T-Sean? Okay, Cody Rhodes feud with them and anybody. It was lifted. There's something. It turned to something. His feud with Luke. I said Luke. I'm sorry, Brody Lee. His feud with not Rusev.
Miro.
Miro
Jesus
now.
Christ! That name just makes me mad. But
Miro.
There's so many angles and feuds, Pages, like anybody that Page is up against, any feud he's in, makes it mean something. Brian Cage has not made not one fucking feud. Angle he was in made it mean so it felt like something.
Yeah,
Without somebody else in the part. So let's not say that, oh, he needs to be. If you push Brian Cage in the world title position on main television consistently in the spot, what the fuck do you think you're gonna get? It's not gonna be. It's not gonna feel special. It's gonna be like, that's nice looking dude, but I don't. Nothing's coming across. He's
right. Yeah, it's not entertaining. He doesn't make you feel like you want to invest like Sting did in his day with promos. Sting could talk, he could wrestle. Flair can talk and can wrestle. Or like I said, all the 80s, all the old school guys can talk and they can wrestle, and you can invest. You can emotionally invest in what they did. That's why you always look forward to the pay-per-views or the matches and everything.
He said he's a Tessa Blanchard's the daughter of Tully. Yeah, that's
of course, yeah.
We know that.
and the thing is, her father is more entertaining than she is. I mean, she might look good. It just depends. I mean,
so MVP got fired. When is this report?
He got fired? No, he's out. He got surgery because he's trying to come back. He got surgery. That's why he get fired.
That's my understanding. That's what you just said. I'm familiar with that. I
keep forgetting about the damn comment section every time. I always forget about the comment.
I got my same my buddies in here because I recognize Shimmer Scott, because like I said, they're just having fun, I had to ban a few trolls who I probably know. So, but I'm not gonna mention names. So I'm gonna get back to the show because I'm feeling good and got my brothers here with me. So, like I said,
you got to ban some trolls.
The right one on your platform today. If we do have a troll, they playing trolls love.
Well, you don't know them. The thing is, no, in
trolls don't bother me.
In my case,
bother me.
These are some cracker trolls who I might know. Like I said, so I just banned them.
Yeah, on Wrestle Chat, I like. Well, you know how I do it how we do it over on the Wrestle Chat, man. Like I love bringing trolls. Like I bring them on the live. Probably quite plenty of them on live. Bring them on in the studio. Let them talk. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one thing I like to do. If you're gonna be sarcastic, or you're just gonna be that guy, be a silly motherfucker doing silly shit, or if you got a lot to say, always create an avenue for you. You can talk audio or be visual on video. And spit your shit, talk. That's one thing what we always do in the platform. We will allow people come forward. All right, you got something to say? Come on. And they come in and they see that.
But I think it's when all the eyes are on them, they don't have that same bravado as if they were typing. Like when they typing, they feel emboldened. But when you got people watching you and listening to you, it's like intense pressure. So I think a lot of people fold up in it.
I'm just saying, here's my opinion. I'm not saying these trolls you don't want to know, and basically there's too much white ignorance.
I learned my lesson.
Too much white ignorance for them to come on. So I don't need it. I don't want it, and you can't.
I learned my lesson dealing with certain keyboard trolls because I realized I made one of them talking to. I talked them into coming on, and I realized I was like, man, this is some little. I felt ashamed because, I brought him on the show, but this cat was clearly, I see why this motherfucker only does typing. He was pretty cool. Like, wow, I see why this motherfucker he only types and hide behind the screen. It was just not worth bringing somebody on camera like, oh, my bad, bro. I didn't know you was that kind of person. You was.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit click, ban you, see ya. Anyway, get back to the wrestling topics. Get back to the flow. Oh, at one time, it was said that Tessa Blanchard, this is when she would tag with Moose. They're saying, one of my buddies from PW Hustle, shout out to the PW Hustle, saying, I think the dude was giving Tessa Blanchard the Moose. He was giving her his Moose. Moose.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Moose though.
Yeah, A-Track Brown. Yeah, shout out to A-Track Brown. Yeah, he was giving her the Moose. I mean, I don't know if she like black guys, but it's like this. They say she racist, but it said that she might have, kind of like dark meat. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is,
Was she? Who knows? Was she? No, she. I'm about to mention the wrong name, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Moose. I don't think Moose brave enough to fuck Tessa Blanchard. I don't know, man. Moose. He's a pretty silly character guy. When you meet him in the back, man, I don't know. I don't know if he would land that deal to smash Tesla. I don't know, man. He just too goofy. I don't think he would. I don't know.
I like Moose. I've always liked him.
No, I'm
I like
talking
moves,
about
yeah.
like, personally. Like I don't think he's that guy to just. I don't know if he would smash Tesla.
He could have. I mean, he just suggested. I mean, we can't confirm or deny, you know. But it's only suggested that he might have. But anyway, no. As far as the draft coach, yeah, all you're doing is the draft is really basically just a farce of you're trading characters back and forth to different shows. You're not drafting from anybody. But anyway, we'll switch gears.
I'm sorry, man. We shit it all over the draft today, but it is what it is, man.
It deserved it. It deserved it. You know,
it's the draft. It's a fucking joke. It's just
So-
being 100%.
So as far as the draft, you think like whenever they do the trades and stuff like that, do you think they should say Sheamus has been traded to SmackDown for
so and so, yeah,
on the
you could
roster?
do that, yeah.
Like
But
that,
like
or would it
Sean mentioned
be
earlier, even if they trade, the guys end up coming back on the shows anyway. And this is back and forth on both shows. It just be, you know.
Okay.
To your question, yes, that's how that's the terms that should be used. Sheamus has been traded to SmackDown. Drew McIntyre has been traded to Raw, or whatever like that. That's how the terms should be met. And when you have somebody they're making some SmackDown has bought out such contract, and now they'll be now they're with SmackDown. Like, okay, like stuff like that. Like, make that a note, but don't fuck over your angle, the storyline that you have going with certain people. And I think that before they make these decisions, they need to look at what they did in the past, like what they did previously before the trade or whatever. They look at that. Okay, this is the angle we got. Okay, this guy, we're talking about Drew McIntyre, all right? So he's on SmackDown, and okay, he's gonna work angle on Raw. So let's do a special announcement, big report. You know, Raw just requires Drew McIntyre. Bam. In actuality, they did do a trade. They have done that. They did that. It was because they had they replaced. I think AJ Styles with Finn Balor had swapped them at one point, and and it was some girls that they swapped too, and they was just like, oh, this person. I think the way they kind of put it was like, this person's over here now. That person. I don't know if y'all remember when they were doing that. See, that goes back to what I was saying. It just doesn't feel, because they just make up shit as they go along. Like, oh, okay, yeah. Now they're over here. The reason why Charlotte's here is because she floated on the merry-go-round and it landed on the ground and it broke and it shattered. What the fuck is she saying? She's going to talk about that.
Okay, yeah.
Like, just make it make sense, and it's not hard to really just stick to the storyline. If the angle is, okay, look, we're gonna require a trade, or hey, SmackDown's releasing out a trade for a certain talent, so now negotiations about to start, or there's negotiations for this person, like how they would do when they brought in certain talent, like MVP. Like, oh, so we're talking about MVP. You know, he was brought in, like his angle was like he was a top wrestler that was going to be brought to the company. And he's like, what promotion is going to be able to bring me in, to, acquire my talents? He was like, oh, it's going to be Raw, it's going to be SmackDown. And then I think he got put on SmackDown. He premiered on SmackDown.
Yeah,
he was the MVP. So I'm like, do it like that. Do it to where you create your fake news stories of SmackDown is eyeballing certain talent. We'll keep you guys updated on further updates on if we're gonna know who it is or what scoop. Like, they should do stuff like that.
I mean, they got backstage announcers that can do that type of stuff too. They got people there. They can utilize them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they gotta do it like that. Put it like that to where make it feel special, like it means something. Do that type of shit.
Well, yeah. all points made. Good points from both of you brothers. That's good points. But I wanted to switch gears down a little bit. Tyshawn, do you watch Dark Side of the Ring? I damn sure wanted to get into this. I'm pretty sure the plane ride from hell. Got to talk about that and talk about good old talk about the good old innovator of violence. The comments he made, which got him booted off, busted open, booted off Impact. I mean, just booted off everywhere.
You gonna talk about it on this show, or you gonna save for another special?
Oh, I will talk about it on this show. But I mean, if that's enough for y'all, I mean, I can wrap it up and end it.
Yeah. I will have y'all here for another 2 hours.
Okay, all right, I got you. Well, like I said, hey, I'm on vacation.
You know how I can talk. I can talk my ass off, but yeah, that's. I think you might want to for me, yeah. But
hey, look, okay. Here's the thing: are you free tomorrow? Sometime like that. I'm on vacation from work all week. Are you free tomorrow night or free tomorrow sometime?
Hey, we can if they want it, we can give it to them.
Hey, let's do it then. Let's we can talk tomorrow on Facebook, and I'll talk about in Russell Chat, and we'll get together for another show. So Dark Side of the Ring to be continued tomorrow night, folks. Yeah. Hey, look, I want to thank yeah.
Hey, what's up?
It's like this. I want to thank all our viewers for watching. Subscribe to Brother Zarkon. Subscribe to Tyshawn and Russell Chat Media. If you're on Facebook, look him up on Facebook. He's on there.
Yeah, just look me up at Russell Chat City. There's Russell Chat City, the group, which is growing every day, man. A lot of people adding us up to Russell Chat City, and also Russell Chat the page. You know, that's another good platform. We keep it as real as we can possible, just like Malik X, man. And that's all I got to say for the advertisement.
Yeah, and like I said, this video is going up on Russell Chat Media on Facebook as well as the PW Hustle on Facebook. So you're going to see it everywhere. So like I said, thanks for watching. Peace and blessings and love, and we'll see you again soon. Like I said, because we'll get into the Dark Side of the Ring. I do want to get into that subject. But okay. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings, and have a good night. Have a blessed night.